You already know how to add new contacts to iPresso. It's time to finally get in touch with them. It's very easy and only requires choosing the right settings, indicating the group of recipients, fine-tuning the creation, and setting the date of sending. Let's start from the beginning. In the main menu, go to the Channels tab and then Campaigns. Now click the plus button. You have up to 5 communication channels to choose from: email, web push, mobile push, SMS, and voice message. We choose email. Step 1 behind us. Step 2, settings. Now you have many different options in front of you. With them, iPresso will adapt to any situation. Let's discuss them briefly. First, name your campaign, for example, Organic Harvest Newsletter. And in the field, Campaign Description, leave a short note, which, after dozens of intensive campaigns, will remind you what it was all about here. It's really worth it. You'll thank yourself later. Next, give your campaign specific tags to make reporting or filtering easier. Match the consent to the type of message. If you're creating a marketing email, you can only send it to contacts who have consent for marketing communications. Mark that here too. If you want the email to be part of a scenario or triggered by an API, check it in the Campaign Type section. Links monitoring allows you to indicate the rule for tracking the clicks. If you don't have special requests, leave this option in the default setting. The next step is the email settings. First, choose whether it will be a marketing or transactional email. The difference between the two comes down to whether or not you will need to add an unsubscribe footer. You can run the mailing in A/B test mode. This will ensure that most recipients will receive the mailing that was more successful in the test group. Then you can enable headers so that users can unsubscribe through the mail client. This is not the same as the unsubscribe footer in the email. Also decide whether you want email campaign openings to be monitored. Finally, enter basic information about the mailing, such as the subject line. You can personalize some of the fields with the variables you'll find in the drop-down list. Complete the From field. After all, it's useful for customers to know who is writing to them. You can enter a reply to email address if you expect it from the recipients. If everything is ready, click Next. We are now in the section called Audience. This is where you choose to whom the mailing should go, whether to all contacts in the database or to a selected segment. After selecting the recipients, refresh the counter to see how many contacts the message will go to. Click Next. It's time to deal with the content of the message. First, choose a template. Among other things, you have a choice of various schemas based on a drag-and-drop editor, where you set everything yourself. iPresso also offers a catalog of thematic templates, which will allow you to quickly start a campaign. You can also use a visual editor or HTML code. Here you'll also find templates you've saved before, including those generated with the theme creator. In this example, we will use a template we've saved earlier. On the left side, you will find many elements that you can still add to the message. For example, now we need social media links. Just locate them in the list and drag the cursor to the appropriate place. If you hover over an element, you have the option to edit, move, duplicate, and delete it. If you want to change global settings for text, button colors, widgets, or lines, you can do it here in the Styles tab. Let's change the typeface to Arial. Then let me change the color of the button and its radius as well. And lastly, let's change the shape of the social links to hexagons. Perfect! If the email content is already prepared, go to the Preview tab. Here you will check how the message will display on different types of screens, from computers to cell phones. Summary is aggregate information about the mailing you've just created. If you have completed all the steps correctly, each checklist item will be green. You can send the mailing right away, or schedule it for a specific day and time. In the upper right corner of the page, there is a floppy disk icon that will allow you to save the mailing. It will then go into draft versions. And that's it. With step 3 behind you, you now know how to prepare and send an email from iPresso.